Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined today by Jessica Watson. How are you doing today, Jessica?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Of course. I love your twinkly lights in the background. That's awesome. So let's get started. I'd like to usually get a little background about where you were before you decided to start your preschool journey. What was going on?
Sure. So I was in the swing of my 8th year of teaching kindergarten.
Okay. Public
So
school?
that was, yes, public
Okay.
school. And just trying to adjust to teaching in a pandemic as well as parenting in a pandemic, and just trying to get some kind of balance. Every day was different. So I was in the middle of getting ready to start virtual learning and just getting used to that swing of things. So that's where I've been in kindergarten land, and just being a mom, wife, and teacher.
Awesome. How many kids do you have?
I have 3 girls.
Okay. And what are their ages?
Yeah, they're 10, 5, and 4.
Okay. Perfect. So what made you decide to start your own preschool?
Sure. So I was in a situation where I was just kind of feeling a lack of support from the public school system that I was a part of. And at a time where you need the most support during a pandemic, of just trying to make sure that you were doing the best for your family and wanting to stay safe and keep them safe as well. So I was getting a little bit of a pushback there, and just felt that the whole overall goal or objective of teaching and making sure that I was creating lifelong learners was missing the mark. I was feeling like the school system was becoming too much more of a business instead of really, catering to the circumstances that we were in, and trying to keep people alive and safe. And just a lot of back and forth for me at that point. And so it just came into a situation where I had to make a decision whether to stick it out, and potentially be unhappy for the next 7 months, or make a change. And fortunately, I saw the ad on Facebook, knew it was time to make a change. Joy Anderson was able to catch me right at the time that I needed most. It was, I guess, mid-October of 2020, and I saw an ad for create your own preschool online. I was like, well, that's something I could do. I've been teaching online for a while, as long with like doing ESL and things like that. And so like, that's something I can do. Maybe I thought it was something I was getting into where somebody else was creating lessons for me. I teach online, I do that, and I'm still being able to dedicate time to my family. And then when I realized that it was start your own preschool, I was like, whoa, like it just opened up a whole another door for me. And so having had business experience with my husband in the past of owning a business, it wasn't something I was shying away from, but I knew it was something that was going to take a lot for me to get to. So that was where it started.
Awesome. So you were teaching virtual for kindergarten anyways at the end of the year. And then did you guys start teaching virtual too?
Yes, we had started in September of 2020, and it was getting to a point where we were about to start phasing back into in-person, and it was just a risk I wasn't prepared to take for me and my family. And so I
Where
knew some decisions. I am in Austin, Texas.
Okay. So you got the book. What was the next step from there?
Yeah, I got the book, and I felt like once I got to the portion of having a preschool online, that a lot of epiphanies were just happening for me. Like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, I can do this. This is feasible. It's all right here. And that's the greatest thing that I've taken away from, is the blueprint to create something so powerful. And so I was able to complete the book very quickly. Sorry about that. I was able to complete the book fairly quickly, and just had all kinds of notes jotted down, and it was just an eye-opening experience for me. So that's when I knew I could just create a plan, and that was created by me. And so I think that was the most exciting part, that it was something that I created.
Yeah, definitely. So did you do one of the challenges?
Yes. So right when the main challenge was happening online, at that time, I was still kind of confused. I was still going back and forth between deciding whether I was going to end my time with my school district or strike it on my own. And so I was still in that, I guess, limbo phase of figuring out what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept seeing a lot of emails from Joy, like, what are you waiting for? This and that. Like, let me see what this is about. And so I did the 7-day challenge a little later than I was seeing a lot of posts from other people about the process or the place that they were in their process of doing their preschool, and it just didn't hit me. It didn't click with me at that point until I finally had time to process what was happening for me. And so I did do the 7-day challenge later, I guess maybe a week or two later. And I was like, oh, this is what everybody was doing. This is how these great resources are coming from. So that's when I got into it.
Awesome. So did you decide to quit with the district, or are you still working with the district and your preschool?
No, I decided to resign probably about 2 weeks after seeing the ad on Facebook about starting your own preschool. It had been on my mind really heavy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things that I'm like, oh, I need permission to my husband, but I don't know how, it's just a lot of questions. And so
right.
Thankfully, through a lot of prayer and thought personally, I was able to discuss it with him, and he was with me. He was my first cheerleader. He said, I see how hard you work, doing this for a whole other purpose. I can imagine how well you're going to do and how much passion you're going to put into it, doing it for yourself and for others in that way. So it was an easy transition.
Yeah. Having that support is so important.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about your preschool. Give me the deets on that.
Yeah, so my preschool is called Got to Learn Preschool.
Okay.
And we have students enrolled from ages 2 through 5 years old. Okay. We meet Monday through Thursdays. And so I love going with a great theme and metaphor. So I call my morning circle time learning time. And that's just where we go over our basics for the day. And then I split my age groups in the afternoon for 30 minutes in what I call the learning lab. So I meet with my 2 to 3-year-olds and I meet with the 4 to 5-year-olds so that I can focus more on their kindergarten readiness. And then with the 2 to 3-year-olds, we're just kind of reinforcing some things that we learned in learning time. Really great.
That's awesome. And how many students do you have?
I have 20 now.
Wow.
I know I've had 61 registrations since I started in November of 2020. And I'm so thankful for the 20 that have, made that decision to enroll and really see what our program is all about.
Wow, that's great. So for not the learning time, the learning lab, right? Is that what you called it? Yeah. The learning lab, do you split them into how many kids are in each group?
So my 2 to 3-year-olds is a smaller group. So we have no more than 5 students in that age range. And then my 4 to 5-year-olds, we are just about full. I have 10 students, trying to keep it as small as possible because they still need that, one-on-one attention as much as possible. So we are just about full in that age range. So
awesome. So how much do you charge?
So my 2-day prices are $68 a month. So we have Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Or you could do all 4 days for $119 a month.
Okay. And do the majority of them do 4 days or 2 days?
I am getting more that are switching from 2-day to 4-day.
Nice.
We start out, of course, as you get started, anything you want to check it out, get a feel for it. And so it's starting to become more popular because, you see that gap in learning, I'm guessing, is what's happening, and they want more. So it's becoming more popular.
Wonderful. So tell me how you got all those signups. What did you do?
Man.
What was it like the first time you got to sign up? That's always the most exciting thing.
It was exhilarating. Well, I had that downtime pretty much from November to December where I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I got to do it quick, and really getting onto Facebook, putting out my information as much as possible to anybody who would receive it anywhere I could place it. That's really the main thing that I did. I did a couple of Facebook ads, but really me personally and going out and speaking to people that would be my target for being in the preschool was what I did. So it was, I mean, hundreds of people that I, either messaged or emailed and just put my name out there. And then on November 6th, which was maybe just about 3 days after I tried to get my founding families, I got my first registration, a local person as well. And so it was really exciting. I got the registration form to my email, and I'm like, what do I do next? Like, it was just kind of one of those, oh no, somebody really likes you. And so it was just kind of one of those, like, what should I do next moments. But once I started with that first one, it kept going from there. And I was just, the excitement has not stopped though. It's been really fun.
Yeah. It's so exciting to get those emails that you're like, you have a registration form, and you're like, what? Oh my gosh. And then when they just keep rolling in, I mean, even now with like my summer registration, I'm going through that all over again. And I'm like, I just put out the summer thing to all the families, and then you get the emails and they start coming in and you're like, yes. It's such a nice feeling.
It is.
So what are your plans for the future for your preschool?
Well, the first thing I just want to do is keep growing. Maybe hold some, more classes to where I can pass on what I'm doing to more families to get it out there as much as possible. I've been really blessed to start working on 2 partnerships that just kind of came to me. I've gone through some training where they say, make sure you look out for those partnerships, and they just came to me, and it's been really a blessing to get those going to where companies and different groups and leagues are wanting to get my preschool out to as many families as possible. And then something personally that I want to continue is my YouTube channel, just reaching to families and parents. And so I'm planning on starting a whole division of Gotta Learn called Gotta Teach. And I want to bridge the gap between parents and teachers, because I'm both and I understand the uncertainty in both. And so Gotta Teach is not only going to help inform parents of what they can be working on with their child at home, but I also want to mentor new or aspiring teachers that are wanting to get into the field. I have my master's in language and literacy, and so really pushing reading at an early age is one of my passions. And to be able to do that within preschool and teach others how to do the same it's just a great passion that I'm so glad that I can do.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I think that's so important to help parents, along the way, because so many parents want to help their kids, be prepared. And I know they were stuck home with them this whole year, and so many of them were struggling with, what to do. I don't want my kid to fall behind, but I also don't know how to teach them. So something like that, I'm sure it would be so appreciated by so many parents.
Yes, I'm excited to just whatever I can do. If I can affect one family, one parent, one person, then I feel like my job is complete.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really love that idea. So what do you think? Did you have any big roadblocks along the way with starting your preschool that you were able to overcome? Anything that sticks out in your head?
I would have to say myself.
I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time.
That was the first one. I was already like, I don't know, I was one of those teachers that I can be shy, but once I get in front of my kids and my class, like, they're probably tired of my voice. But then, like, it's just one of those things where it was really natural. But for me to actually put myself out there and try to engage maybe adults into my teaching and things that are part of my philosophy or things that are important to me, I think is very important. But it was very difficult, even to put that out there to my family. My parents are one of those, like, you're so successful, or you're doing great teaching, and then for me to tell them I quit or I resigned, or to decide to do something that that maybe I was in a different thought pattern, and telling people that out loud was hard first.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Well, I'm sure what do they think about it now?
Now they're like, how's it going?
Yeah.
I think I had to be excited first and have that confidence. And I'm really thankful that God just placed everything in alignment as it is, because I couldn't have done it on my own.
Yeah. Taking that first leap and just, I mean, even, resigning And I'm sure the coworkers were like, oh, is he really going to do that? You know, like I did that too when I was telling my coworkers at my public school, I was like, I'm not coming back next year. I'm going to, you
Right.
know, open my own thing. And they were like, oh. And then when we went into lockdown, they're like, are you sure you want to do that?
Mhm.
Maybe stay with the district another year. And I was like, no, I can't. I was like,
Yeah.
I have to do this. And then like, you know, it working out, then they're like, okay, but you know, to take that leap of faith when you're not even sure, and the people
Yeah.
around you are like, what are you doing? You know,
Right.
is huge. And then to see it work
Yeah.
out is just so amazing.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. What do you think you could tell your past self, maybe thinking back to like when pandemic first started, or when you were thinking about you when you went back and they were talking about going back in person? And what do you think you would tell yourself back then to give yourself some encouragement?
Oh wow. I'd be Nike. Just do it. um, I wouldn't leave such important decisions to anyone else but God. And I think that's where I messed up, was even if I was unhappy at a particular situation or a particular event and I gave over, you know, my emotions and power of how I felt to someone else, I would just say just stop it and really refocus and recenter yourself and just take a leap. Even if it's not 100% successful, you will find much more self gratification if you just do it. Just do it. And
Yeah.
don't wait.
Just do it. Awesome.
Yep.
And how do you think the All-Stars helped you just do it?
Oh man, resources. I don't have to start from scratch, and just that's another thing that I want to do in the future, is help others realize they don't have to start from scratch. Realizing, Jessica, you can create your own curriculum. You can do that. I mean, it's just, I feel like a lot of me and the other preschool all stars may have been in this zone of thinking you have to apply yourself to get a position or something like that, and just creating that space for yourself and seeing that a lot of other women are doing it all across the country and sacrificing. It makes you feel like you're not alone, and that you do have that support, even if they may be strangers to you, but they, you know, start becoming people that you look to for guidance and support.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So are your students mostly local, or are they all over the country?
They started out local, or at least Central Texas,
Mm-hmm.
just because that's where I was kind of marketing towards. But now I have families in New York and Florida and Colorado, and I even had a registration from India.
What?
And it was really hard for me to say, I'm sorry, but I think our time zone might be an inconvenience to your family, but stay connected with us, and you never know.
Wow. So how are you reaching those people? Is that still through
Oh
Facebook
man,
ads? Did you like
yeah.
broaden your zones, or how did you change to, you know, go from local to be able to reach that many people?
Sure. I just realized that my target wasn't just moms, because there are
Mm,
some moms that do want to remove that responsibility from having to teach. So I realized I had to kind of reshape and refocus on who I was reaching out to. Families that were already excited about homeschooling, taking um, that kind of those liberties of with their children and wanting to teach them, but have that extra resource and support. So I just sought out, you know, different groups of families that were in that mind frame, because I
mm-hmm.
knew that they understood what I was geared towards. So that was kind of a struggle trying to figure that out. But once I did, it was kind of like, these are the people I should have been, you
Yeah.
know, trying to get to all along. So it's
Yeah,
just some trial and
absolutely.
error.
Yeah. So you started marketing more to homeschool families as well. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good idea, because I mean, homeschool families need the help too. And there's so many
Right.
families who are just choosing to homeschool now who weren't
Mm-hmm.
before, who need all those resources. I was a homeschool, I mean, we were a homeschool family. My mom homeschooled all six of us for a while. And I can only imagine something like this back then. Like she could have
Mm-hmm.
set, you know, my younger kids in front of this so they were learning, and worked with the older kids. Like something like that probably would have been great for her. So I can
Right. It's
only
even
imagine.
kind
Yeah.
of exactly. It's put that in my mind that now I can do this for my own children and, not feel that I can just know that I can do that.
Yeah.
Really
Do your own
exciting.
children help you out in class? Do they participate in class with you?
Oh, they've been super excited. Myself, my 4 and 5-year-old have been participating and they look forward to it. And it's just been really exciting to share this with my entire family. It's just been really great for them to see mommy, this teacher all years, sharing mommy with lots of other kids in and out of the house. And now for them to see exactly what I do, it's like they know she goes to the school building or, things like that. But now for them to actually see what I do and participate in it, I've always wanted to teach them. So I'm glad that I can do
wonderful.
that. And do those. Yeah.
That is wonderful. So are you homeschooling them now?
Next school year, they will be.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for other women who are maybe in the same position that you were, 6 months ago, who are teaching and not, not happy with the district or in another job and wanting to resign, but not sure if they can, and who are looking at this? What would you say to them?
Of course, you do have to be logical about your future plans. And then at the same time, you do have to take that leap of faith. If you say, I'm going to wait for the right time, it'll never happen. Because, our plans are not what's going to be the final say. You have to go through some trenches. So I would say, of course, try to think about the logistics, but when it comes down to it, you have to follow your heart. And if you feel passionate about something, then everything else will follow you. God has blessed us all with the different talents and passions. And if that's what it is, in teaching and reaching children, you could have a degree in music or, anything, and it's going to tie into your preschool in some way, if that's what you really want to do. So I would say just don't wait and really lend yourself into just going with the flow.
Absolutely. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today. I love your story. I love everything. I love your background. I love your whole vibe going on. And I wish you all the best of luck in growing your preschool, and congratulations on where you are now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking, and you have a great day.
Thank you.
If you'd like to have a success story just like that one, I invite you to join our Preschool All-Stars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance, and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools, and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool All-Stars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.